To get rid of those pesky ads, request stories, listen to unlisted and bonus episodes, and to chat with the gang, support us by clicking the description link.
Let's see, we've got Shramarama, Lauren, Alan, and Ashley here so far.
So, what is up, everyone? This is the Talk Murder Me podcast. We record episodes every Saturday, live stream 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I put out episodes every Tuesdays and Thursdays at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I want to give a shout out to our sister podcast, Among the Dirt and Trees. You can find that in the link below. And our good friend Brienne. Mm-hmm. She is an excellent storyteller. So it's her, and I produce the podcast for her, but it's her telling a story, a true crime story that occurs out in nature, so camping or whatever. It's very unique. And she does a lot of witchcraft cases too, which is really cool.
Ooh, I love those.
Yeah. And anyway, if you want to check that out.
I wonder if she would cover the Brockton Triangle.
She did cover some triangle. There's a couple, like in Michigan, I think, or the Michigan Lake or something like that she covered. But anyway, I produce it, put good music behind it, and it's just check that out if you like. But anyway, that's my plug.
I really want to tell them what you've been doing at night now. So
does it have to do with plugs? Because I don't know if that's appropriate for this podcast.
It has to do with Brienne. So John has been playing this new video game that he's been just dying to come out on Xbox. I mean, dying, guys.
No, dude.
And it's called...
It's okay to like video games.
The Pressure Washing Simulator.
Wait.
Dude,
yes.
It's legit and it's fucking great.
I love that. So you pretend like you're pressure washing stuff?
No, you do pressure. Like, all right. So,
and it is a co-op game. So he and Brienne's boyfriend last night, and I was listening. I had my earbud, and we couldn't get an extra controller for me just because we only have one gaming computer. And so they're like all chat, and it was like a fun time. I haven't really interacted a ton with Brienne. That was my first time like meeting her boyfriend, but it was I think we were playing until like 12:30 last night.
That's late for you guys.
It is. I started falling asleep. I was like, I can't keep watching you guys
are like
pressure wash
9:30 10.
I know, like 10 is my normal bedtime. 10:30 maybe if I'm like really reading a good book.
Oh, cool.
It's really fun, dude.
So Jen, I think you got to figure out how to get on there, because then you can play with John and Brienne.
See, maybe I should, because I have a pressure washer at home, and I pressure washed my house, but I don't think it worked. Like I had I don't know. I think I did something wrong. It didn't look like, it looked better, but it didn't look super better. Like, my skylight that I have?
Yep.
There was like pollen and stuff on it. And so I soaped it, and then but the pollen, like there's still residue on there. Do I have to go up there and scrub it? I'm not getting on my roof.
Well, you need somebody to come and pressure wash it for realsies.
No, I would just climb on your roof, and do it. You do.
And then I'll end up in the emergency room again, and then I'll tell you. Because that's something where I may not recover from.
Let's not
That was
do
so
that.
bizarre. I could not believe.
I wonder what it is, because you've mowed the lawn. Like, it's not like it's something different.
No. And it's, I don't know. Unless I got bitten by something that I haven't been bitten by before.
Yeah, but wouldn't like that site get swollen and puffy first versus like your ears and hives on your arms?
Yeah, which is why I thought maybe it might be sun poisoning. But it was at 6:30 at night.
Moon poisoning?
No.
The moon wasn't out yet.
Moon poisoning.
We are doing trivia today, Ashley. So basically, here's what we're gonna do. I'll just run it through real quick for everybody new. John had this great idea to keep giving away some fun prizes, is to have trivia. We'll do 10 questions per episode. And if you are a regular Joe listener, you can still participate and play and get a point. But obviously, if you are a Patreon member and you are here for episode 2 on the live stream, well, you're going to have an opportunity to get more points. So we'll have first to 10 points, or whenever you get to 10 points, You can either have an Amazon gift card or pick from your loot of prizes if you are a Patreon member.
Yeah,
Also-
and I will I will say that we are doing 3 episodes today, and we're going to continue the trivia in all 3 episodes. Unfortunately, we're only doing 1 public episode, so you know what that means.
So you got to be a Patreon member if you want to win big.
That's fucked up.
No, that's totally fair. So
No, he looked at me the way he looked at me when he was like, so you know what that means? I'm like, no, what does that mean? You're very dancey today.
I know, I feel good.
I'm glad.
We got new cameras.
Yeah.
I
We
can
each
zoom
have our
in.
own
I can
now.
zoom in. Oh, here's Nicole.
Stop.
that.
Look,
Are you
Stop poking her.
I was trying to poke you. Oh, shit. So I have some good stories tonight, and these are a request. If you've already seen me, John, for Tenacious D. Is that what she's talking
Yeah.
about? She's got a Tenacious D.
Stop.
Oh, shit.
That was great.
I've got some great stories tonight. We're doing 3, so...
Well, before we get started, let me welcome our newest Patreons.
Yeah, go ahead.
Patrunos, Uno Momento. And we have a surprise shot dedication for Hunter today. Hang on one sec. Where do I find these things? I struggle every time.
Growing up in Gilbert, South Carolina, I knew a lot of hunters. Like, that name is really
Yeah.
popular.
Yeah.
It's a good name, Hunter. I like that. Very unique.
What if his
I
middle
don't
name was
know.
Gatherer?
It could be a female Hunter. I know a
could be.
female Hunter.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I'd never met a female hunter. I met a male Ashley before.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So we actually have this week to welcome Taro into the membership. I know she's on here now. Lexi
What up,
and
Lexi?
Martin.
And Martin.
Nice.
Hey all. This is great. Fantastic. So all right. So Hunter had a very specific request for us today. So we're gonna do that for her.
All right, let's do it, man.
Yours is behind you.
Surprise shots. Surprise shots. We don't know what they are because they're a surprise. This one sounded pretty good today.
That's the one that's actually like
Secured.
on the thing.
It's because it's comparing to the one that doesn't even work. Cheers, y'all. Cheers, Hunter. This is for Hunter,
Cheers.
right?
Yes, this is for Hunter. Cheers.
Cheers.
I feel like a
Fireball.
teenage girl.
That was not Goldslager.
Well,
it was Fireball.
Fireball's the new Goldslager, I think. Isn't it?
Yeah, I would say Fireball was like got crazy popular
Oh, yeah.
like 10 years ago, man.
Yeah. All right, you guys ready to get started? I got some great episodes, man. I'm super excited. This is a request, so when you figure out what it is, be sure to claim it. And we do take requests from our supporters. You can do that on Discord. All right, tonight we are going. This is a story right here, man. Holy shit! This story is going to give you some mad anxiety.
Oh, no.
All right, we are starting September 30th, 1978. I'm going to show you the Google Earth, but if you want to tell me where this is.
The middle of nowhere.
Yeah, no shit. This is California.
Oh.
We're actually going to Stanislaus County. Stanislaus County, but more specifically, we're going to I-5, which is this big-ass interstate.
We've
Oh,
heard a
yeah.
lot about the I-5.
Yeah, we did
The
a...
I-5, the 405.
Yeah. So this interstate, as Jen said, is out in the middle of damn nowhere, but it's still a highway. It's a 2-lane highway. There's a lot of traffic here. But you see that to the left, there's some farmlands and stuff like that, but to the right, it's mostly mountains. So this is about where the spot we're going to right now. It was about right here. And you see, anyone could just pull off the side of the road, and ain't nobody in tarnation gonna see what they're doing.
Yeah.
So-
Well, like very like desert-like over there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and I feel like even if you did see someone pull off to the side of the road, like that's the type of area where you're like, that's none of my business. I'm going to keep going.
Desolate as hell. We're going to 8 a.m. Keep with me because this is going to get a little crazy.
Only a little crazy?
Yeah, a little crazy.
Okay.
September 30th, 1978. It's 8 a.m. in the morning. Early. Still a lot of traffic. A lot of cars went by this incident that happened. Only one stopped.
Like the Good Samaritan.
Yeah. which is always what, and I'll get to this later, but it's literally always the elderly couple that stops to help the injured, you know. Anyway, 8 a.m., there was a woman walking down the highway. This is her right here, if you can describe her.
Young, I'd say maybe like late teens, early 20s.
Yeah, I was going to say that too.
Dark hair.
September 30th, 8 a.m. in the morning, this girl, 15-year-old girl,
Oh, damn.
Mary Bell Vincent, who you just saw, and I'll put the photos on talkmore.com.
Courtney says she knows the story.
Don't spoil it.
I do love it when people
it.
figure it out right away.
Yeah.
Do not spoil it. Do not spoil it. Calschwitz.
Oh, my God.
What the fuck? No way, yo.
Google Maps named it that. Oh,
No, someone on Google Maps. That's funny.
Fucking. Wait, you met her, Shramarama? Holy shit.
the
All right.
story?
Wow.
All right. No more.
I love that. I love it when
Okay,
those
no more giving away hints. All right. 15-year-old Mary Bell Vincent. She is stumbling in and out of the lane.
Walking.
On
On a busy freeway.
8 a.m. in the morning. It's pretty busy. There were several cars that had passed her.
Yeah.
And
But like if you see someone that's like weaving in and out, walking.
Well, it's not that it just wasn't that she was weaving. She was very zombie-like in her steps. She's stepping where you know, in those horror movies where they don't pick up their feet all the way. And
Like
they're just-
schlepping. Schlepping.
Is that what it's called? Sliding and stepping?
Oh, I don't know if that's why it's called that. I don't know. Schlepping. That's just something that my parents.
Schlep, yeah.
Floppy. Yeah, floppy. Good adjective.
No. We're doing trivia question number 2. So, Amanda Lynn got that point. So.
Well, it kind of works. So anyway, 15-year-old Mary Bell Vincent is in and out of the lane. She is clearly distraught. Not only is she swerving in and out of the lane, just walking, her eyes closed, making these noises, like you can't even hear her.
Like Tina.
Yeah. What did she do?
I almost wore my Tina shirt today. Ah, damn.
Did you guys watch the movie?
Yes.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it yet.
We made a whole night out of it. It was
Aw,
fun.
like a little date night?
Yeah, we got burgers from Boxcar Betty's, and then we got some Raisinets because that's John's favorite candy.
Why is he blushing?
And we were both wearing our Bob's Burger shirts. It was great.
That's adorable. I think that was the night that I ended up in the emergency room.
That is also adorable.
D, my left boob is named Floppy. The right one is Sloppy. I love it. That's amazing.
Anyway.
Okay. She's stumbling, 15-year-old girl. People slow down and the horns are going, but it's not because she's just stumbling, like maybe she's on drugs. She's also butt naked.
Oh.
In the desert, basically. You saw the Google Maps.
Yeah.
This is the mountains are right there.
And no one's stopping for this girl?
No one's stopping.
Oh, it is the 70s.
But she's not just like prancing around, you know,
Like lively?
naked, lively.
Yeah.
She's covered in blood, and it's her own blood. And that blood is trailing the road. So you saw the Google Maps. She comes up from the outskirts there where I showed you where it
Yeah.
would be a good place. No one would catch you, see you do anything.
Mm-hmm.
She somehow walks the right direction and ends up on this highway, and she is just stumbling. Blood completely covers her. There's a trail of blood painting the pavement behind her. No one's stopping. There were several people that slowed down, but as soon as they noticed what was really going on, they sped off. All right. An elderly couple stops, and this is always the case in these episodes. Every case we've done is always the elderly people, the elderly couple. You know, Herbert, stop your car and pick up that poor lady. It's true. So we need to thank our elderly people, seriously, because if it wasn't for them, this would have went a lot differently. They pull over. The male gets out, the elderly male, looks at this 15-year-old girl. Now, they don't know what's going on yet. She's naked and she's got blood on her, but they don't really know the details. They're just like, are you okay? Are you okay? And then both of them in sync, both the husband and wife, they see what is going on, and it strikes their eyes like a bolt of lightning. Mary, 15-year-old Mary, has been walking like this the whole time, stumbling. And for you guys on podcast, I have my hands up, kind of like I'm raising a dinner tray, stumbling in a state of intense shock. Her arms that are raised up Mary's arms, this 15-year-old girl's arms, 3.5 inches below the elbow. So 1, 2, 3, 3.5, about right here. That's 3.5 inches. This 15-year-old girl, stumbling naked with blood all over, 3.5 inches below her elbow, hacked off both arms.
No.
Completely severed, missing. She's holding them up like this. She is in an intense state of shock.
Oh, yeah, I'd say.
She is walking, barely, zombified. And the couple, they can see, if you've been to like anatomy class and stuff, you've seen like the cutout diagram of an arm.
Yeah.
And you see the bone in there and it's white and you can kind of see the
there's
little
two bones in the
crevice.
forearm.
Yeah, exactly. So they see those two white circles and then they see the capillaries and everything. They see that right there. And luckily, they throw her in the car, obviously. Now, if you want to, can you read the first one?
Oh, yeah, hang on.
She is basically at this point walking barely. It is a body that has no blood in it at this point because all that blood is behind her and in the mountains and on the dirt. All that blood is gone, is not in her body.
From the Sacramento Bee, October 18th, 1978. On September 29th, Mary was found wandering naked near I-5 near Modesto with her arms hacked off below the elbows. Since she was identified, juvenile workers in Las Vegas have pored over her file, trying to reassess her case. The girl told authorities she had been raped by a heavy-set man in his 50s who picked her up in a blue truck. She was found on September 30th wandering around in a deep state of shock, naked, her arms severed below the elbow.
She survived.
Whoa!
This is her. She is a survivor.
Good for her. And thank God that those people stopped.
No shit.
I mean, isn't that like severing a bone, like, so it's below the elbow? That means they cut that bone. Like, it's not, you know how like
It's not a natural joint if it was below the elbow.
exactly. So
they
that
cut it-
must have hurt.
Yeah.
Like, even that must have been really hard to cut in that particular spot.
Yeah.
This is her.
Oh, look at the doggies.
Okay, she's living her best life.
You see, she has hooks for arms.
Yeah.
And I was reading more about her. I was like reading some of her interviews. She actually prefers to have the hooks instead of a prosthesis. She, from at the time, this was 2003 when she last interviewed. She's not really wanting to be public.
Right.
But
Well, especially I feel like now with there like prosthetics and are kind of more common than back then. So maybe like she wouldn't have the need to be out in the public either because
Yeah.
like it's not like she's a 1 in 800 like person who has a prosthetic on their
Yeah,
her.
no,
you
you're
know
right.
you know what I mean, like I don't know.
well, she is an artist now.
Oh,
And that's why you saw that one picture of her painting. The interview that I read from 2003, I believe, said she was struggling. She financially, obviously, because I mean, you got two hooks. You know how many? She can't do obviously admin work, stuff like that, or whatever. But she is, from last time that I saw, she is trying to make it as an artist, and she is still alive. So
Wow.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm glad to hear that.
Shrama Rama from live chat says, quote, when I met her, she still had the hooks. It was about 14 years ago, end quote. So that's pretty crazy. So you said you were her neighbor?
No, she
Shrama?
knew her neighbor.
Oh, knew her neighbor. What was her attitude like? I mean, I feel like she has a really good attitude. Obviously, she survived. And if you start the story from when it happened, you'll see that she is an advocate and she was talking in all these schools about what, right? Hitchhiking. That's how she got out there, as we'll get to.
Oh.
But so this story specifically is only going to be about her and like her life growing up and stuff like that and why she was hitchhiking, stuff like that. And then we're going to go back at the very end. We're going to go back to the van that dumped her out.
Okay.
And that is pretty bad. A fisherman named Michael Henry actually found her arm, one of her arms. He was casting a line into the San Francisco Bay near Oakland Army Base, and he pulled out one of the forearms, either right or left. I can't remember.
Is this shortly after or like?
Yeah, this is like 2 weeks after.
Oh, okay.
Which means what? You didn't see any San Francisco Bay around that highway. That means somebody threw it in there.
Yeah.
At that point.
Also, I mean, even if it wasn't in the San Francisco Bay where they threw it, they could have thrown it in any other waterway for 2 weeks. It could have traveled.
Yeah. This is important. Her name is Mary Vincent. We're going to go through her story. How did this 15-year-old girl with a great family growing up, and here's her photo one more time. How did this girl right here end up in this situation?
Well, it was the 70s.
Yeah, 1978.
Hitchhiking was common.
Yeah. Maybe she wanted to go to like a concert or something with her friends.
At the time, she didn't want to be called Mary Vincent. She wanted to be called Maria Vargas.
Oh, was
Now-
she a runaway?
Yes, she is a run. She was a runaway multiple times. Her mother was a Las Vegas blackjack dealer. And she said that her daughter was a quote sweet girl who was too trusting and always believed that nobody's bad. Most runaway stories we cover, there has been some abuse or emotional something going on. You have to ask her why she was a runaway, but from what I'm gathering, it was because she was a middle child. And there's like a thing with
Middle
that.
child syndrome?
Yeah, exactly. But you'd have to ask her. She actually ran away right before she finished ninth grade for the first time. She has this belief, this false belief as a 15-year-old girl growing up in Vegas. They were living in Vegas at the time. This false belief that the world is inherently good. Like people are good. They always do the right things. Kind of like, kids have that today. They're fearless type of shit.
You could call it fearless. You could call it naivety. You could call it just a overall positive, overreaching outlook.
People are coming in with titles here.
Yeah, Natasha had a pretty good one.
What was it?
The disarmed hitchhiker.
Like that play on words. See, they really do know me.
I know. Hacked up hitchhiker is a good one too. I like it. Also worth noting, she's really good at opening beer cans. Shamarama said. Oof. Well, I mean, hey, Shamarama has met her.
Do you still have? Would you be able to? I mean, I'd love to interview her. This lady is a very strong person to survive what I'm going to go into tonight. Holy Jesus, this is a person that, and she doesn't like the spotlight from what I can see. But the first time she ran away, April 2nd, 1978, she returned home 3 weeks later. And as you said earlier, we've covered all these stories. Like a lot of the serial killers in the 80s were just picking up hitchhikers. It was a thing.
Yep.
I mean, not because everyone hated their parents and wanted to get out. They just wanted to hitchhike. It was like the thing, right? I guess not anymore because everyone has a car.
And everyone can just take an Uber.
Yeah.
If they need to get somebody
that's
where.
true. Yeah.
I mean, if you think about it, Ubering is kind of like the new hitchhiking because you never know what could happen.
Yeah. Remember Samantha Josephson?
Yeah, the one that
In Colombia. Yeah.
I've only taken an Uber once before.
I've taken one a couple of times.
I
but
used to drive for Uber.
Did you? When?
I did a very small stint. I just wanted to. Everyone was talking about how much money they're making, so I had my Infinity, and I was like, "Fuck it, I'll sign up." And I did it for like a week. Nah, I just hated it.
Yeah.
Because like I'm the guy that like you're getting in my car. I don't talk much, but I'm sitting there like better not fuck up my seat type of shit. Like so, I wasn't getting high ratings.
You can't handle that.
And I was like picking up college kids in Charlotte. They were drunk. I was like, "Bitch, you better not fucking throw up in here." They were like, "Yes, Dad." Wait. All right. The first time she ran away, April 2nd, 1978. She returns home 3 weeks later. April 25th, runs away again, returns home May 8th. Now, her family situation is pretty good. It's a very large home. So they're sharing space and stuff like that. I believe their house was like 1,800 square feet, and there were 7 siblings. So pretty big home, or pretty big family for a small home.
Yeah.
No abuse, nothing. Her family, very loving, very caring. So in this episode, like I said, we're kind of going through how the media, because I use old newspapers to do my report. So when the incident happens, I go by year up until the last I can find her. So this is the story presented as in the newspapers. Okay.
Got it.
Yeah.
From the words of Mary Vincent, survivor, "I left home to save my life," Vincent said. It wasn't to seek wild times. I didn't know anything about the world or the opposite sex.
Yeah, and real quick, like we got 3 cameras now. Jen was kind of worried about like, the view.
My
And then we can fix it still, but
Yeah.
Make it flattering. The ring light looks good.
the camera just came in today, literally an hour before we started
I'm
this.
trying to be more confident too.
And I just wanted to
You
say
should be.
I want to.
I just want to say thank you for our supporters, man, because we wouldn't be able to get, even though we bought it, like I was lowballing every motherfucker on eBay.
Please, someone give it to me.
Oh, you want $600? Will you take $150? It's like, fuck you, man.
Yeah, you're the bidder I hate on eBay, actually. I'm like,
Okay, fuck, $175. Are you fucking shitting me?
yeah, that's when I just hit the decline button when they come back a second time.
Dude, fuck, we gotta
Nope.
We ain't rich up in this piece, man.
That's for sure.
All right, she was the middle child in a large family, seven siblings. The parents were so concerned that every time she ran away, they filed a missing persons report, which if they didn't care, they wouldn't do. Her grandfather was willing to let her live with him, and the last time she ran away, she did stay there for a little bit, but according to her, it just wasn't working out. The family was in Vegas for 7 years. If you want to try to guess what nationality the mother is, and you can tell what nationality she is as well.
Is she Vietnamese?
Pretty close, yeah. Yeah, no, that's
Oh, good, really good guess.
Yeah, it's a really good guess, yeah. Yeah, she's Filipino.
I
But
love the Filipinos. They're such a kind people.
That's what Lauren is married to a Filipino.
oh, I didn't know that. I thought she was Swedish.
We were talking about all the food that one time, remember?
Yeah, have you guys ever had lumpia? They're like they're like egg rolls.
Yeah.
And you serve it with like a sweet chili sauce. It's so good.
They have been in Vegas for 8 years now. The father was a slot machine mechanic, and the mother, Lucy, from the Philippines, she met her husband, Herbert, when he was in the Air Force. So you were close. I mean, I don't know how many guys, I guess guys brought home Vietnamese women, wives.
Yeah. I think there was an influx of Vietnamese in American marriages, I think, during that time. Well, because the Americans were over there living in,
Large enough home. I saw it was 1,800 square feet, but it was zoned
That's
to
bigger
keep
than my house.
horses. Is it really? Yeah. How big is this house? About the same?
This house is like 1,800, 1,900 square feet.
Oh shit, okay. Now her school, she had a nice school. I'm basically going on like why she would run away. But she was a quote nice quiet girl with an attendance problem. She went to a really good school with a pool and a tennis court and everything else.
So she was truant.
She was what?
Truancy is when kids don't come to school.
But so you probably see that. So
A lot.
But a lot of those kids, do they have good childhoods?
You can't really generalize because sometimes it's a family issue. Sometimes it's the kid and the family doesn't really know how to motivate them to get them to school. Sometimes it's maybe they live with a single parent and their single parent is working and the kids just don't come to school. There's so many different reasons. Like you can't really generalize that.
So this is Natasha's request. You're welcome, Natasha. And Amanda Lynn from Live Chat. My uncle married a woman in Vietnam and had a son. The son stayed in Vietnam with his mother and was like a 6'3" mixed Vietnamese guy. Good Lord.
Wow.
That's like if height is like to be that tall, right? I think is pretty unusual. I had some friends that studied abroad in Thailand, and like my friend is like 5'10" as a female, and like they're like it was unusual for them to see somebody that tall for a woman.
You're tall.
Yeah.
You're like 6'6".
No, I'm not
She's
6'6".
not 6'6".
No, not 6'6". I meant 6
6
and
foot.
then
Yeah.
6'6".
Like, wow, Jen, you are tall. From the words of Mary's counselor, it's a close, strict, loving, caring family. The parents tried a lot of methods to control. She apparently couldn't live under this, and she split. I think Mary wanted to grow up too fast. She was in a hurry. She was sure she knew what was best for her at the ripe old age of 14.
All right. So, and we're about to go to the van right now. Back to the van. That's where she was at before she started walking. But basically, she was, she just wanted to run away to see the world, basically. She thought everyone was good. But however, walking down the interstate naked with your arms hacked off, she immediately saw that not everyone is good. You have to be an incredibly demented person to do that. So we're going back to September 29th, 1978. We're going back to the same highway as we were on Google Earth, I-5. This time we're in the back of a blue van. The guy that did this to her picked her up like a hitchhiker, just picked her up. And if you think about how she was discarded when she left the van. It's almost like trash on the interstate, because like a McDonald's bag or a Pepsi bottle. Think about it. The hacker, the mad hacker, hacks off this young girl's arms and doesn't think twice about it, doesn't try to make sure she is dead or anything.
Well, I mean, because you can't really do much for yourself if you have no, like, first of all, you've already lost a lot of blood. And, like, if you're going to be in a state of shock. Like,
yeah, but he didn't even try to put her out of her misery. It's just like, well, that's hacked evil. Him off is evil.
Yeah.
Just threw her out like trash, like, oh, the animals will take care of this.
Yeah.
That's what she was. That's what, I mean, so keep that in mind when we go over who did this, because he was caught.
Good.
So you're Mary, Vincent. How do you survive? How would you survive this if you were her? Think about that. She said to the media, quote, how she survived was, I concentrated, I meditated and pretended like I was dead. Then he leaves, and then she talks about how she had her hands up. She didn't have a tourniquet. Even if she did have a tourniquet, she can't put it on, you know? Even if there was a shirt there, she couldn't put, you know, like, there's no way.
Yeah.
So Mary Vincent was hitchhiking. This blue panel van pulled up. The man was older and looked all right for a 15-year-old girl. This is the man right here. He was caught. He is the one right here on the left.
Oh, no. I mean, I guess maybe back then. No, I get bad vibes from him, but we're also sitting like almost 45 years later.
And knowing the conclusion.
Yeah.
That's Lawrence Singleton, 51 years old. From his words, he picked her up, and he said after his arrest, quote, the light was red. If it was green, I wouldn't have got into any trouble. So that's where he sees her, picks her up. They stop for Coke and some gasoline. And this is like any other hitchhiking for her. She's on her way, and she's, you know, everything's fine. She did notice a strong smell in the cabin, though. This man, Lawrence Singleton, 51 years old, was drinking 190 proof grain alcohol from a milk jug.
Damn. Okay.
We tried doing that one little shot that one time, and we almost like thought we were gonna die, man.
Yeah, that was the worst one, I think. Other than all the congealed stuff like that, like
that burned my throat.
Also, I want to go back to say, like, if the light was green, he wouldn't have gotten into any trouble. So, like, you just, like, I don't know, that just bothers me. I don't know. Just that mindset is like, well, I guess the light's red, so I could pick her up and then, you know, hack her arms off. Like, but if the light was green, he like wouldn't have then at that point. But we don't know if he would have done it before or if he's killed again or anything.
190 proof grain alcohol from a milk jug. He has to pee. They're driving along. Everything's fine. She falls asleep at one point. He wakes her up. I got to stop over inside the road. And you saw the highway. It's like, where are you going to stop? Literally nowhere. He pulls off the...
like in Rat Race. I'm prairie dogging it.
God.
Oh, God.
I hate that part in the movie.
You hate that movie?
Say that
I
shit.
said I hate that part in the movie. It does make me cringe.
It was appropriate for the comment.
Did you ever get your toilets installed?
No, I haven't even bought new ones yet.
Oh. They both get out of the car because she has to get out, I guess, and relieve herself. But more importantly, she has to tie her shoe. Her shoes are untied. So she's out of the van. She's stretching her legs. She bends over, kneels down to tie her shoe. And then she sees, quote, one big fist coming down at me.
Oh.
End quote. He throws her into the van. She's pretty much not unconscious, but she's in that state of what the fuck?
Yeah.
He throws her into the van, ties her hands up. So you think about it, like why would someone cut off the forearms? Her hands are tied up. He forces her to drink this grain alcohol, just shoves it right down her throat. And doesn't alcohol thin the blood too, which is even more dangerous? I mean, I don't know. Anyway, he's also drunk. At one point, he goes unconscious, and
that's safe.
He ties her up, and then she passes out, and he rapes her several times.
Mary remembered being pulled from the van and him telling her again that he would set her free. He was cutting ropes off her hands, and as he held her left one, she saw an axe come down.
She is outside the van at this point.
Okay, not tied up.
He said he just raped her tied up. Yeah, still tied up.
But outside the van.
Well, inside the van, he rapes her a bunch of times after she's tied up.
Got it. Okay, so she's tied up.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. Okay, sorry.
Exactly. And then, from what I see, throws her out of the van, and they're in that desolate area. He tells her that she's going to be okay. He's just got to cut the ropes off. So this from the Fresno Bee. There were 3 more chops. She struggled to grab the axe, then 4 more blows on her right arm. All the time, he was promising that she would be set free. So he is hacking her arms. He just told her initially, I'm just going to cut these ropes off. I just raped you a bunch of times, and now I'm just got to cut the ropes off and you'd be free. Yeah, you got to be naked and walk around the desert, but at least you're free. So let me just cut these ropes off.
But he meant he was going to cut the ropes off because he was cutting her arms off.
Well, he's just very evil person.
Right. Yeah. But I mean, like, she thought, okay, like, slice through my ropes. But he was like, I'll cut the ropes off. And he meant like,
yeah. So,
yeah.
So repeating, there were 3 more chops. Boom, boom, boom. All the time. I'm going to set you free. You're going to be free. I'm cutting you free. You can be free. She struggled to grab the axe. Then 4 more blows on her right arm. All the time he was promising she would be free. As he's doing this, he's like, you're going to be free. You're going to be free. You're cutting off her arms. Then he picked her up and knocked her over the road rail and into a culvert. He just like, okay, you're free. Throws her off the freaking bridge.
Mary, only 15 years old, bleeding out profusely, then heard her attacker say that she was now free. He threw me off a cliff, she said. I should have broken bones. I should have bled to death. I didn't, and I never passed out. I remember everything. I wanted to give up and go to sleep, but I felt someone there with me. A presence who wanted me to survive. A voice told me to get up and get help, or someone else would die.
That is 100% true.
Yeah. Wow.
I mean, this guy was gonna kill a lot of people. So think about it real quick. Well, go ahead.
Was she the only victim that he had?
Well, hold on. I'll get to that.
Okay.
All right, think about this. Let me go back real quick. You're Mary Vincent. How would you survive this blood loss? Your arms are hacked off. Luckily, you walk in the right direction. But how would you survive? The average human body has no more than 1.4 to 1.5 gallons of blood. That's like a gallon, you know.
It's a milk jug.
Milk jug. Okay, that's how much blood's in your body. The average adult can lose 14%. 14% of that blood, of a milk jug blood. 14% of that before feeling some minor effects like dizziness and drowsiness. 20% more, and your body goes into hemorrhagic shock. And these effects literally multiply. So the dizziness increases by, you know, the square of itself type of shit, right? It multiplies itself.
Right.
15 to 30% of blood loss, your body shuts down some of its organs. 15 to 30%. You think of a milk jug, that's not a lot. And what I say at the beginning, there's blood all over the interstate. Her arms are hacked off, for fuck's sake.
No, you gotta like.
There's a lot
not
of
that people
fucking
want
blood
to
loss.
imagine the image of that, but like you can imagine like the blood like just squirting out of her arms and like she's poor thing.
Exactly, right? It's squirting out of her arms.
Because you got arteries in there.
Exactly. The major freaking shit. And no tourniquet. Blood restricts from the limbs, which in Mary's case is a good thing. The brain, when you're losing a lot of blood, kind of brings all the blood back to its major organs, the heart and the lungs. So that's why when you get like hypothermia, your fingers go cold because the blood constricts back to where it's needed the most, right? Which in this case probably saved your life. 40% of that blood. So you're thinking of a milk jug, 40% of that blood, you slip into a coma. How close was this girl from her death? And how many people stopped and just sped off? Quite a few. 50% of that blood loss, your heart stops pumping and your organs finally shut down. She survived simply by something, a presence in her head telling her not to give up and to keep her hands above her head. She said, gravity can help me out on this.
Wow.
She has her hands above her head, and that's why she's walking like that. Like she's walking like she's holding a dinner tray. She's walking like this. But she
Smart.
is I said 20% of blood loss. She's in a state of shock.
Yeah.
She's already in shock.
Well, yeah, because
this lady is already in shock.
Yeah.
I can freaking imagine what she was going through, man.
Right.
I cannot imagine what she was going through. Fucking horrifying, man.
There is one particular part that Lauren was saying about something that she did to stop the blood.
What did she
To
do,
help
Lauren?
stop the blood. He said that she put the stumps in mud
Oh, okay.
to help stop that. I don't know
Shit.
if that you came across that.
I didn't
but
see
Lauren
that.
was like, wow.
I didn't see that in any of the newspapers I did. I pulled a lot of newspapers. That's, I can believe it. She did quite a few interviews, so that was probably one that I didn't see. see, but yeah, shit. That's a damn good addition there. Mm-hmm. Shit.
How far away? I know it looked like that was in the middle of nowhere.
This is the guy that they caught. Lawrence Singleton, 51 years old. Fucking crazy.
How far away were they from a hospital when she was
I'm not
picked up?
sure. I couldn't even find. All I found was the county is the closest I found, and this was 30 years ago. So it was in Stanislaus County, but I'm not sure. It didn't look like a hospital was any. I mean, hopefully they kind of tourniqueted her arms, and there's stuff you do with shock victims.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's the guy they caught. Let me tell you a little bit about his words. He says they were, and this is completely fabricated. He didn't think he was going to get caught, and he just spattered out this shit. He said there were two other hitchhikers in the van, a Pedro and a Larry. These guys were never found because they were never there. And Mary said it was just him.
That's like the two most random names.
Yeah. Oh, Pedro. They're not going to find a Pedro. Like, what the fuck?
Pedro and Larry.
He said that she, quote, had sex with him, Lawrence Singleton, and Larry, but refused to have sex with Pedro. So he's saying that she was a prostitute. She's not a fucking prostitute. This guy is a merchant seaman, Lawrence Singleton, 51 years old. He said, and someone said they blamed a traffic light.
Yeah.
But in the paper, I should have put this image in there, but it says Singleton blames alcohol. So he says he doesn't remember anything. He was in a drunken stupor. He, quote, blacked out from excessive drinking, woke up, and Pedro was driving the van, and he didn't know where the girl went. He said initially he picked up a, quote, young, dark-complected female hitchhiker, and then the two other hitchhikers, and they were headed south on Interstate 5 towards LA. He said he paid this girl $60 to have sex. They drank vodka and blacked out. He woke up, the girl was gone, and then the two, Pedro and Larry, were driving his van to San Francisco. They never found either Pedro or Larry. He woke up and Larry said, quote, she had her hands in the till and went on to LA. That was a complete lie, what he said. Mm-hmm. So he was arrested for 7 counts of attempted murder in the first degree, kidnapping, rape, sodomy, forced oral copulation, and mayhem. Mayhem. How many years do you think he got for this?
50.
If the jury would have decided that Lawrence Singleton would have used a, quote, deadly weapon in the course of the kidnapping, end quote, he would have gotten the death penalty. So, and I was thinking about this. If he would have kidnapped her with an axe or a gun, in this case, there was an axe, right?
Right.
If he would have used that to kidnap her, he would have gotten the death penalty. But he didn't do that.
Because she got into the car willingly, right?
So instead, for hacking off this 15-year-old girl's arms, he receives 14 years and 3 months, and he serves 8 of those and gets out on good behavior. She's about to fucking... Oh, shit. But don't worry, he's changed. He's changed. Okay, let's finish this one up. We're going to 1997. This whole time, poor Mary Vincent has been worried that Lawrence Singleton is going to come back and finish the job.
Well, yeah.
And then 8 years later, he gets out. All right, this is his house. It's a converted army barrack. He was, and we're going to talk about this in the next episode here. But he was actually booted from every city he tried to. He couldn't go back to his.
Oh, such a shame.
He was
registered as a sex offender, was he
No,
not?
no, he wasn't, because that law was passed, I believe, in 1995 or something. So it didn't apply to any crimes before that. That's a good question.
Okay.
1997. Singleton has been out, what is that, 10 years? Yeah, 10 years, I think.
9.
9 years.
9 since the incident. It was.
Yeah, 9 since the incident. He's now...
No, wait, did you say 97?
1997. So the thing happened in 1978.
19 years. Wait.
Whatever. 1920, fuck.
19 years.
Who the fuck knows? Math is hard.
February 19th, 1997. Singleton is living in Tampa, Florida. His family lives down there, and he's basically living off welfare.
So this man went on to have a family after?
No. His ma and pa and stuff.
Oh, okay.
Living in Florida, Tampa, Florida.
Okay.
So I showed you his house. His house is actually nice. He kept it really nice, and none of the neighbors knew what he had done because this is in Florida, right? That happened in California. No one really knew what he had done. They just knew he was kind of an old, grumpy old man.
Yeah.
But he kept his home meticulous. Nice, right? He was living in Tampa, Florida. As I said, this February 19th, 1997. This is late at night. This is another event. Late at night, a house painter named Hitson, Hitson, was painting his carport.
Ashley commented she loves a carport, so I think it's funny that that's actually featured in this story.
We don't have a carport, do we?
No, a carport's like it's
like a
not a
garage.
garage, but it's like open. It's just like a overhang,
It's like a garage, but without
an
the door.
awning.
Right. It's like it's just an area where you can park your car and not get wet when you walk outside.
Yeah, it's like a roof, but no walls
Okay.
next to the house.
This is Wednesday night, 9:10. It's not too late. But this house painter comes back. He's like, shit, I forgot to touch up this one spot. He was going to wait until the paint was drying. And then, the day just got from him. So he goes back. He's like, you know what? I'm already in the neighborhood. Let me just go back over there. I'm sure this old man won't mind. I'm just going to touch up this little paint. He goes back over there. He stops in unannounced and he gets out of his car, his painter's van, and he hears some muffled calls for help inside the house.
Oh, okay.
A woman's voice calling for help, screaming, but it's kind of muffled, almost like there's blood in the throat.
She's like gurgling. Ugh.
He carefully walks over to peek in the window, and inside, Lawrence Singleton, the mad hacker that 20 years before hacked off this 15-year-old's forearms. He is on top of a woman. They are in the kitchen. They are on the floor, on the linoleum floor. He has a large butcher's knife in his hand, and he is repeatedly stabbing this woman.
No.
And this woman is squirming to get out.
Yeah.
The police find, when they get there, there's cuts all in the linoleum. Some of them had went through her body and hit the linoleum. Others, she just evaded because she was squirming. The next thing is documented, and we're going to go through the sources because this is insane. Not even breaking his rhythm of methodically stabbing this woman. He looks over at the window because that little painter, the one that came to touch up his carport, is peeking through, his eyes wide open. Oh my God. Not even breaking the rhythm of the stabbing, Lawrence Singleton looks over and makes eye contact. The painter said he had, quote, glassy-eyed. Lawrence Singleton stared directly in that painter's eyes and then continued to stab the woman.
Oh no. I don't like that.
So we're going to talk about that in the next episode.
Oh.
What? What do you guys think? Fucking nuts, man.
What an evil bastard.
All right, did you guys like that? So we're going to continue on with that story, and I'm also doing another story for you guys that we're going to do right now. It's the Audie Sanchez story. It's a 911 call, and it's one of those stories that Jen is going to fucking hate me for. I don't know if you guys heard of it, OTTY Sanchez. It's a terrible story. It's short, and then we're going to finish up with the Lawrence Singleton one. So if you're not a Supremo supporter and you want to stay on and continue the trivia that Nicole's doing, and to hear this next story, if you want to join us for that, patreon.com/talkmurder, and you can be a supporter. And if not, we release episodes every Tuesday and Thursday at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We record live stream every Saturday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And that's all I have. So, and we'll see you guys on live chat here in 20 minutes. So, all right, until next time, good night, you lovely, lovely people.